What's going on, YouTube? How is everybody today? Good to hear. So today we're going to talk about a post-rock band by the name of Mogwai. They're pretty underground. Not a lot of people know about Mogwai. This is their fourth full-length, released in 2003 on Matador Records. Mogwai is a post-rock band from Glasgow, Scotland. They formed it in 1995. They're definitely one of the bigger names in the biz. What you get with these post-rock guys is you get a lot of similarities. You can listen to a Mogwai album and hear a lot of like Godspeed You Black Emperor. You can hear a little bit of Mono, Sigur Rós, a little Tortoise, Explosions in the Sky. What Mogwai like to do that sets them apart is they occasionally like to, rock out and have like metal riffs and stuff like that. And they get pigeonholed a lot for having a loud, quiet dynamic, I guess. Maybe they took that to heart when they made this album, because this album doesn't really have a lot of that dynamic on it. This album rarely like explodes or erupts into guitar riff tangents. It does sometimes, but mostly this album just likes to simmer and just come to like a light boil and stuff. On this album, Mogwai still likes to incorporate, their typical rock instruments, guitars, bass, drums, but they also throw in like electronics and distortion. There's synthesizers, filtered vocals, a string section. I don't know if it's violins or like a cello they're playing, but it sounds good. Like all the songs here will start off with like a guitar or like some sort of simple little beats, and then other guitars slowly rise to the surface, and there's very light percussion and stuff, and it all builds and swirls together, and it sounds like it might explode, and it just creates all this kind of tension. But for the most part, it doesn't really unleash the tension. On a couple songs it does, it teases you. On others, but for the most part, it's a very melodic, very subdued, mellower release. It has very, very little turbulence on it. It has little threats of turbulence, but it never quite delivers on it. And I think that's the reason I really enjoyed this album, because it's just kind of, they focus more on harmony and melody on here. There is like moments where there is like, the guitar does let loose with some like guitar bombardment, sudden explosions, but for the most part, it's just this warm little blanket of sound. Very well orchestrated, very cinematic, not so much dramatic, but for me it had like a lot of replay value. I really enjoyed this album. It's probably my favorite Mogwai album, one of them. It's also interesting because it's mostly instrumental, and there's vocals on a few tracks, but the vocals seem like instruments too, because they're so garbled and filtered and distorted. Like, they're unintelligible, but they suit the music really well. They give the songs a very cool kind of alien vibe to them, like it's got some sort of computer alien technology singing the songs or something. Like, you can never distinguish what the lyrics are, but yeah. Lots of lush sounds, strange sounds on here, delicate little harmonies. And like I said, sometimes like jagged little noises come to the surface, but on here it's always like the little subtleties and the melodies that really kind of win the day on this album. A lot of beautiful compositions. This album is 10 songs and 71 minutes, but it's not 71 minutes with the music, because there's about a half hour of silence at the end. I think it was leading up to a secret song that doesn't quite arrive. I don't know if I fucked it up. I was trying to fast forward through the quietness, and maybe I screwed it up. I didn't find a secret song on here. But yeah, Mogwai's happy music for happy people. Just got this very shiny cover, probably hard to look at. Video forms, black on the inside. But yeah, pretty mellow release, very calm. They play with a lot of restraint on here, a lot of soft builds, weird vocals. But yeah, if you're not into Mogwai, it's probably a good place to start if you want to start off with like one of their more subdued, softer releases. This still does have like epic swells of guitar and stuff, but it doesn't have the barrage like a lot of their songs did. It doesn't have that kind of obvious dynamic or anything like that, but it still is very fun to listen to. I really enjoyed happy music for happy people. Mogwai is a pretty silly band. 2003 album released on Matador Records.